Hello, welcome back to the Black Carnivore live stream. I am so excited to be here today, 2 days before Christmas, and I'm here with Arien. How you doing, Arien? What's going on?
I'm great. Uh, Not much really going on over here. How are you?
hmm I'm okay. Always looking for some new experiments. So you know what I did? You know how people, why am I talking with such excitement and joy? Um, I don't know. But there's good things afoot. Life is good. So
I'm just laughing at the I'm always looking for an experiment. Haven't realized that about you until just now, but it is true.
yeah, of course, absolutely, totally true. Um, and wow, did I do this wrong?
What happened?
No, this can't be. Yeah, no, I did this right. Okay, so I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we come on, viewers, come on in, say hi, join the fun. So anyway, yeah, I am always looking for an experiment and always trying new things. And so this week, you know how people are always talking about, having, breathing through your nose while you sleep. So I finally bought some of that tape so I can tape my mouth down and, try to make sure that I breathe in my nose while I sleep. So I'll see what the quality of my sleep is like. I don't know.
Uh, all right. So back up. I
hmm
have no idea what we're talking about. What is this?
Really? You haven't heard about this?
No.
So, well, apparently, our bodies are designed for us to breathe through our nose, and there's various things that happen when you breathe through your nose versus when you breathe through your mouth, and it affects a lot of our functioning. But particularly during sleep, many of us breathe through our mouths because, well, allergies or whatever other problems, and it can have a poor effect on your sleep, and so people have been using like medical tape to tape their mouths shut to make sure you're breathing through your nose. Now, obviously, if you can't breathe through your nose, you need to breathe through your mouth.
Right.
So there is some people will tape like vertically so that if you need to, you can breathe through your mouth. You will wake up, presumably, unless you're, I don't know, blind drunk, you will wake up if you, can't breathe. But a lot of us breathe through our mouths, sort of habitually, even if you don't have an obstruction in your nose. And so this is kind of for those people, to get rid of that habit. Obviously, if you cannot breathe through your nose, this is not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So you need some level of ability to breathe through your nose,
hmm Yeah.
but apparently not enough that your body would just try to do it on its own. You have to encourage your body to breathe through your nose.
Well, if you just get in the habit of breathing through your mouth, you just, you might do that, even through sleep. And it just
Hmm.
needs to be trained out of you. Yeah.
So
So,
do these people breathe through their mouths while they're awake too?
a lot of people do. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so you got to think about it whether, I mean, I don't know, this morning, like when I was walking in the dog park, it was actually pretty cold and my nose was running. So of course, like, I'm sniffing and then breathing through my mouth, and I realize, "Oh, this is like what they're talking about." Like I am breathing through my mouth. Like I generally, once I went carnivore and took out the dairy, like I can usually breathe and pretty well through my nose, whereas I could not before. And but that was an instance where I was still again breathing through my mouth, and it's not a good thing to breathe through your mouth, especially when it's cold and when you're outside, because your nose is sort of designed to filter out particulate matter It's designed to warm up and humidify the air as it's coming through. It's designed to, to shape the gust of the air, I guess, to kind of get it down deep into your lungs. Like there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on through your nose and your sinuses that
Hmm.
all gets bypassed when you breathe through your mouth. So, and if you are interested in this, I encourage you to get this book called Conscious Breathing. I think that's what it's called. And the guy who made it also created this device to help you to train your breath. So there's a lot of things that people do wrong with their breathing that has a big effect on your I guess your nervous system. And so when you can start to learn to breathe, changing the rhythm of your breathing, slowing it down, you actually can, calm yourself down. You can change, your mood, your anxiety level, and a lot of stuff like that. And so there are some devices that are people, use for that purpose. So I ordered this week and just got this device, which is essentially kind of like a metal straw, and you breathe through it, and you breathe out slowly. Well, it forces you to breathe out slowly, so it forces you to slow your breath down and make it longer, and that has an immediate effect on your central nervous system. It makes you calm down. So anyway,
Hmm.
that's my experiment with the breath. Hmm.
So I knew about the I guess like the different patterns of breathing that a lot of people
Hmm.
use to help them, calm down and get through anxious moments, bring more oxygen to the brain, slow the heart rate, all that stuff. I had no
Hmm.
idea that there were people who like, besides like, I guess what I always assumed, if anybody was like breathing through their mouth on a regular basis, I assumed it was like a terrible respiratory problem that only affected a very, very small part of the population, not like that there are a bunch of people who just on a daily basis can't breathe through their nose.
I mean, I think it is a terrible respiratory problem, but then it becomes a habit. So even when the terrible respiratory problem is cleared up, or even if it has like intermittent periods where it's better, the habit still remains of breathing through the mouth. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I
Hmm.
had no idea that that
Hmm.
was a thing that was possible. So I thought anybody breathing through their mouth regularly was having a problem right then at that moment,
Hmm.
continuously. But
Yeah,
because
I don't
I
think
would get
so.
sick and couldn't breathe through my nose, and then I'm not sick anymore, and I'm excited
Hmm.
to not have to have my mouth open all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Hmm. Hmm. And I oh man, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, so and the author of this book was saying like there's a lot of ways that our breathing can be um, irregular or disrupted, which I hadn't really thought about. I could hear my dog doing something.
Hmm.
But coughing, clearing one's throat, a lot of the throat clearing that happens from like uh, heartburn and stuff like that, sneezing, yawning, like all of these are disruptive ways of breathing. And so if you have any of that, even if you're not breathing through your mouth all the time, like if you have those things going on, it's also a disruption and not a good breathing pattern.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. But so let's see. We got people here in the who are watching. So Elle says she tried the tape, the mouth tape, and didn't find any difference in terms of how rested she felt. So, maybe that'll be what I find as well. I don't know. But Elle says she likes having her mouth stay shut. And yeah, And I'm like, yeah, I was talking to about with my cousin, and she's like, "Good God, is my mouth not shut? Like anything could climb in." And I was like, "Yeah, that's true. You want to keep your mouth shut."
I'm trying to think of the times that I go to sleep with and my mouth is open, and I can tell because I wake up in a puddle of drool or something, and it's like either I'm super tired or I was drunk. Like it was something that was disrupting my sleep, that was giving me not restful sleep. I just basically passed out.
Yeah, yeah. Drunk will do that to you for sure.
Yeah.
And then you wake up. Well, I wake up with my mouth feeling like it's got cotton in it and it's all dry and it's gross. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it's been open the whole time and the
Mhm.
ambient air has just been soaking, pulling out all the humidity.
Mhm. God knows what crawled in and out. I don't know.
So, all right, you got the same anxieties that your cousin does.
I mean, an open hole, of course.
Could
I've got hair over
that
my ears, so that's not a problem for me. And then there's nostrils. You've got the beard guarding your nostrils. Your
that
eyes are closed.
presupposes that things are crawling on your pillow all the time, and they're just looking for a way in. And this tonight the mouth is open. Oh yeah, boys, we're in there tonight.
I don't know. While I'm sleeping for 8 hours, I don't know. I mean, you know, you're never more. There's so many spiders in the world. They say you're never more than 8 feet from a spider. So
And yet spiders are not trying to live inside your mouth.
that's true. That's true. Uh, all right. Anyway, so oh, keto to carnivore mama. Hey, she says I'm so happy to catch you both. Well, catch you all live. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here too. So anyway, that is my experiment for the week. I'm working on just doing this breathing thing and seeing how that works and what that's like. And I've been meditating pretty regularly for the past 2 months, but I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to incorporating this into that because I think that could help. I feel like with meditation it takes me so long to kind of get settled down, and then kind of get into it. And I think if I can change my breath pattern, like that should, uh, work. Um, that should work for me.
Oh, that would like
Uh,
get you into the meditative state faster.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
You know, change those brain waves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Breathing is a big part of calming down, and
Hmm.
it's my understanding that that's like the one of the first steps in meditation is calming your brain.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, and so for any of you who are watching, like there's a whole lot of stuff out there, on breath work and stuff like that. I don't know if any of you pay attention to Wim Hof, who is like, I guess he's like a Dutch athlete who's, does all of these crazy, um, things like getting into really cold waters and meditating outside, and I don't know, like in the North Pole for, hours wearing just shorts. And, he uses this breath work to control like his body temperature and heart rate and all this kind of stuff. So, anyway, that is really popular, and there's a lot of breath, exercises that he has people do. So if you're interested, there's like a ton of stuff out there. But start with the book Conscious Breathing. It's by a doctor who has like he's culled all of the research that's been done about breath work. So the book is based off of like existing research, not him just sort of coming up with ideas. So so let's see. We've got Heather says what's going on at 8A's house. I know there's just, I don't know, just fears.
Spiders,
Yeah, fears of spiders.
spiders, ants. What else? We're not going to say roaches. We are not wishing roaches on 8A, but yeah, spiders and ants, and maybe.
Well,
I don't
ants,
know.
yeah, are automatic negative thoughts. So yeah, there's ants abound. Um, uh, Sorry, I was just getting too much into some self-help literature. Ellie, I know it's you.
What?
I know. Um, I know it's you. I just said the name as I saw it here, but I did know that was you. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you. And she does box breathing several times a day, and that really does help. Yeah, box breathing is another one that's supposed to trigger or stimulate the vagus nerve, which has to do with your being able to calm down. Do you know anything about that?
I believe the vagus nerve goes between the gut and the brain. That's as much as
Hmm.
I've
Okay.
heard of box breathing, but no, I don't. I don't know the
Hmm.
technique or what it's used for.
Okay. Yeah, I've done it before, and it definitely helps me. It will calm you down real quick. Definitely, real quick.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And so, Keto to Carnivore Mama also loves the beginner guide to breath by Wim Hof. So I would check that out. Okay. So, any other updates for this week, Arian?
Mm,
You're boring.
yeah, pretty much. Like I feel back on track. My body feels good. So
Hmm.
yeah, nothing. No news is good news over here.
Hmm. I had a EEG this week, and we were checking for any of the signs of well your brain does some things before it has a seizure, and so I was having that to see if my brain was giving off any of those signs, which it did not. So now we're going to advance to doing a 24-hour EEG and look for that. So that was interesting.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
and this is to. I remember you
Consider
saying last week that you're epileptic.
right,
Um,
and so I mean, considering whether to get off of the medication. And so first thing is to see, whether there's any signs or signals that my brain is still giving off those signs, those pre-seizure signs. Yeah,
got you. Okay.
yeah. So,
So
so
you
that's
passed the
all.
first test,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Past the first hurdle.
that's the in the office test, but now you have to check it for 24 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does that work? Do you
I don't
carry
know. It's
around
fascinating.
a box or something?
So I go in and they put electrodes on my head, and then I don't know. Like in the past when I've gotten this, like the electrodes are connected to a machine. So I don't know if I'm carrying something around. Am I walking around like, like
Right.
the Bride of Frankenstein with like stuff all in my head? I don't know.
Yeah,
And
like do they tell you before, like, all right, so we're gonna need you to take this day off of work. You're probably not gonna want to have company over, and you're just gonna look weird for this 24 hours. Because I'm imagining
wow.
you with electrodes coming all out of the different parts of like your
Yeah.
head and chest and everywhere else, and like
Yeah.
a white box that's like this big that you just have to keep next to you
I don't
and it
know.
records the data.
And I'll be taking the subway home, so I'll be sitting next to people
Oh
for
yeah.
yeah.
Maybe they give you a backpack that you can put the box in.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so that was that. But let's dive right into talking about the holidays now. So I assume, like you always do, you're going to your parents' house. They are making some sort of holiday meal. You will
Yep.
eat whatever is presented to you, whether it is carnivore or not. You will have a wonderful time, and the following day you'll go back to eating carnivore.
Yeah.
Did I
I'm
sum that up right?
definitely. Yep. So I didn't do that with Thanksgiving. I took everything home and I actually surprised myself. I didn't even want the sides. Like I had them there and I wasn't interested in them anymore. Um,
Really?
yeah, so they weren't even very tempting. So this time, yeah, I'm totally sticking to. I'm just taking the meat home. There's nothing else that I want. Lately, I've been back on. So I said I've been feeling good, and actually, I should say I'm feeling really good lately. So
Really?
yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing different, but I'm back in like my um, I want lean food. I want steak more often feeling, which luckily steak is on sale right now. It's not as good as
I know,
somebody
right? Did you see Esther Fairley's
dude
post?
dude it, it
Ribeye for $5.77. $5.77. I was like, it would be cheaper for me to fly there, buy it, and come
yeah
home than it is to
yeah
buy the same thing. She bought like 10 pounds.
yeah and said like she thinks she's
Oh,
good for the next few months. I'm like, I freaking wish. So here I
oh.
am excited to get New York strip for $8 a pound. That's what I'm dealing with over here on the East Coast in Baltimore. We're not getting steak any cheaper on a regular basis, no cheaper than like $10 a pound. So to find something that's $8 a pound, I'm excited. I bought two. They were selling them in family packs, so it was like three to a pack. I bought the two that they had out yesterday. I bought. I will probably go back there every day that I can or that I feel like it and buy more and just buy everything that's there because there's no limits on what one person can buy because steak is ridiculous or it's ridiculously expensive right now. Meat is
Hmm.
just period. I've been saying for a long time that I haven't felt the meat crisis. I'm feeling it now.
Hmm.
I can't
Yeah.
get anything cheaper than $6, $7 a pound, and that's like
Hmm.
chuck roast.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Like steak is 15, $13, $17 a pound. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm eating my steak. I had two today. They were delicious. Um,
Well, the people on the
so
chat have been finding great deals. So we've got Mommy Does Keto says Aldi has rib roast for $6.99 a pound. I
oh
don't know
yeah,
where. Heather is able to find prime rib for $5.99 a pound, which is and it's normally $13.99 a pound. Wow.
hmm.
Where do you all live? I don't understand this.
So I did
Ellie
hear about
Ellie
the.
got rib roast for $6.99.
So I don't want to buy a bunch of roasts because I already have three in my freezer right now. Like it's starting to take up all the space, and I haven't felt like cooking a roast. I've wanted more cook one thing, eat one thing type meals. So those roasts have been sitting there. But
Wait,
yeah, I heard about all these.
you have ribeye roast?
Yeah, I got a rib roast, a strip roast, and a leg of lamb in my freezer.
Well, why don't you just I mean, if you don't want to eat them as a roast, why don't you just slice them into steaks
Well, because then I got to take them out, thaw them, and slice them into steaks, and then refreeze the
and
rest
then eat
or
them?
whatever. Right. Yeah, it's
Okay.
just.
Okay.
I think if I had thought of that when if that's what I had wanted to do when I bought the roast, that would be a good idea.
Mm, gotcha.
Um, as of now, I just kind of don't feel like it. I want to take. Well, you know what it is? No, I'm kind of being precious about them. I want to eat them as roast, and I want my steaks to be steaks.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, a bunch of other people are finding these great prices. So lucky you guys. I got my prime rib, or my rib roast for $13.99 a pound, and that was on sale from $18.99 a pound. So, yeah, that was good. And it looks like Ellie is getting a freezer for Christmas, so lucky her. So she's gonna really be
Yes.
able to stock away all the stuff with good prices. So yeah, nice.
Yeah. The chest freezer is really important.
Hmm. So
So
there's a lot of people who have, well, I don't know if this is an Italian tradition, or what. I feel like I've heard about it from Italian people, but I guess Christmas Eve dinner is you serve 7 kinds of fish, and so that's what everybody eats. And then Christmas dinner itself, is some kind of beef roast. So, is anybody else doing that, or has anybody else heard about that? Anybody in the chat, or you, Arian?
This is brand new to me. I've never heard of this before.
Really?
Yeah. As soon as you said it was Italian, I said, oh, okay. But I throw my hands in the air because I know of one Italian person that their traditional Christmas dinner is lasagna. That is one of the things on the menu.
Yeah, yeah.
Lasagna, for me, black family, soul food, lasagna has nothing to do with Christmas.
I know more and more black people incorporating lasagna, but yeah.
Really?
Um, yeah, yeah. I think it's just because it's an easy thing to make that most people like, although I don't like it. Um, but
I didn't know anyone
it's
thought of lasagna as easy.
uh, yeah.
It's the way, okay, I don't know how other people are making lasagna. The way my mom does it, it does not look easy. It's tedious, it looks like.
Well, tedious, but it's like a one dish meal, and it's kind of like pizza. It's like everybody likes it. It
Mm,
doesn't. It's not. It's always going to be well received. Although it is easy, I think, to do it poorly. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
I've had some messed up lasagnas.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so Ellie is doing the seafood on Christmas Eve, and her husband's family is Italian. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you get to, try a whole bunch of different types of stuff, and usually there's an array of things there, some fried, some regular, and yeah, so that's cool. Nice. So it's very carnivore friendly.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'm going to go to midnight mass on Christmas Eve tomorrow night, which I didn't do last year. So that'll be kind of cool. But for dinner, I don't think I'm going to do anything special. Let's see. Mommy does keto is Portuguese, and they celebrate Christmas Eve, and it's usually codfish for dinner, so some kind of fish as well. Nice. Um, oh, and E. Taylor said we did lasagna at Christmas growing up. Yeah,
Mm.
you just have to get out more, Arian. There's a whole world of things happening on Christmas Eve and Christmas, and a whole different kind of eating traditions all over the place.
I mean, yeah, I'm finding out as I hear from these people with feels to me like very different backgrounds.
Yeah. Um, so, and I see
White
Maria's.
Alfredo lasagna.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah. I had never even thought to do a white lasagna like that. So interesting. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, and I guess there's some ways to make it keto. You could make sort of a fake lasagna noodle out of like cauliflower or something. But I digress. This is not a keto channel, and I don't even like lasagna, so
No,
I don't
but
know why.
but you
Yeah.
wanted to talk about recipes. This might be how we slide into recipes naturally. Is it
Yeah.
possible to do a carnivore lasagna where you just leave out the noodles, period? And
Well, I saw Katura was made some kind of noodle dish where she took, those egg tortillas. She sliced them into strips to make them like fettuccine, like flat noodles.
mm,
So, I think she said that they were slightly slimy, maybe. I don't remember what she said, but there may be a way to do something like that to make the lasagna noodles.
okay, that could work.
Um, and if you did a white sauce and you included dairy, um, that would work.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you open it up to keto, I'd be less worried about the. I'd probably stick with a tomato sauce, but
Hmm.
white sauce could work too. I've never had lasagna with white sauce. I'd have to taste that first before I make it myself because I'm scared.
All right. Well, a melanated meat fueled mama said it. Yes, it did get slimy. So, um, then there are also those noodles, those Asian noodles that are like clear and I think they're made of like gelatin, or maybe some kind of seaweed. It's not a
Mm.
natural substance that you would normally think of, but they have like no carbs. I think they might be called glass noodles. Maybe there's something like that that you could use. Um, yeah.
Okay.
So
And
I don't
people are
know.
saying deli
Hmm.
turkey slices, um,
Oh,
turkey
and Mommy Does
breasts.
Keto says I use sliced turkey for lasagna as the noodles.
Hmm.
Great. Interesting. I like how you're thinking. I wonder if you could do bacon.
That's an idea because I would rather that than turkey. The only thing about bacon is it's gonna release so much oil.
That's true. All right, well, let's switch over to more recipes that are, really good. So on Saturday, I am going to make a rib roast, uh, so the way I think I'm going to make it is to, brown it on the outside in, cooking it in a pan in, like a deep amount of oil so it really gets nice and brown and crispy on the outside. So I guess this is kind of like a reverse sear. And then I'll put it in a low oven for, a period of time until, it cooks the inside to, medium rare. And I think that's the way that I will cook it. So for those of you who are also, doing prime rib, let me know how you're going to cook it. I'd love to hear. My my piece is like maybe 5 pounds, so it's not a huge piece. It's got like two ribs in it, but I'd love to hear how you guys are doing it. Um, and then oh man, I should have like taken a picture and shared my grocery haul. I spent a lot of money at Whole Foods the other day.
As you do when you go to Whole Foods.
Well, usually it's not so bad because I'm only buying meat. But yeah, this time they had, well, the prime rib was on sale, but they had this pork belly that like had almost no meat on it, it seemed like, and it was just like lots of skin and fat. So I was like, oh, let me buy that. So I got more than I was expecting. Then they had leg of lamb on sale for I think 6.99 or 5.99, so I bought one of those, and
Nice.
I don't know what to do with it, so I just put it in the freezer. But I'm looking forward to making that, and yeah, and the prime rib and chuck roast. So yeah. So
That's good.
Katora says I have no idea how I'm cooking my prime rib roast. Yeah.
I'm
So.
probably gonna do mine like yours, but I think I may go the other way around. I may do the sear at the end.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it'll already be in the oven, and I'll just turn the oven to 400 or broil. And yeah, broils, whichever one turns on
Hmm.
the top burner, if that's not already
Hmm.
on. Yeah, I'll just let it sit under there for a couple minutes, crisp up.
Hmm. Yeah. So the other thing is, so I still have some pork belly left, and I meant to post. Well, I got to post a video of my finished results. So I roasted. So I cut in half the pork belly that I had, and I roasted it in the oven, and it was, oh my God, so good, so good. Love pork belly. Um, yeah. but I still have the other half, and I think I'm gonna do. So I think I talked to you guys about Jack Rustin of Rustin's Boneyard. He like cooks all of these amazing things, and they're just delicious looking. And so he was talking about this method of cooking pork belly where you boil it first, and then you boil down the water. Then you put it in a nonstick pan, and you continue to fry it in the pan, and it gets like, it just gets so crunchy and sticky and amazing. So I made it a couple weeks ago, and it really was amazing. Now my mistake was I did not put it in a nonstick pan. I was a fool. If only I could do it over again. It was still good, but I there was a lot more crispy crunchy that I lost because it was stuck to the pan. But
Hmm.
the problem with it is, and he even as he's cooking it holds the lid of the pan up like a shield because it pops so much, and so you've got this like boiling hot like fat and meat flying out of the pan.
Yeah.
And it flew out so much that even my dog was afraid and ran out of the kitchen in fear. And I was afraid too. And and I mean it the pieces big pieces popped out very far, like not only on top of the stove but on the floor, on the bookshelf, on the counter. I mean, it went far. So when it was time to like take it out, it was like, man, like this little lid is like not enough of a shield here. So I was pretty
Yeah.
terrified. Yeah.
So so that's because it's cooking in its own fat, and it must be at a. How high do you have the pan when you're doing that?
Not high. Like I don't know. I have not figured out how to cook bacon or pork without it doing that. Beef doesn't seem to do that, but pork does. And I think it's there's water. That's what creates that popping. And I just think there must be a lot of water in the fat that isn't there in, I don't know, in the cow. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that could be.
Okay, so Heather says her technique for cooking prime rib is 5 minutes per pound at 500 degrees. Then turn off over and let it sit in the hot oven for 2 hours to get a medium rare roast. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I could see how that would work. Nice. That sounds pretty easy.
Yeah, it sounds super
Um,
easy.
hmm
I
So
might
maybe
need to
that's what
try
you
it
need
with
to
my
do.
next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you better take a screenshot so you remember how
Well,
to do it.
at that 5 minutes a pound at 500, yeah, that's super easy to remember.
hmm So Maria's Dollhouse says I usually sear it at the same time, sear it the same and high, bake at 425, then slow down the cooking for the last hour to 350 for about an hour, depending on the size. Yeah,
That feels. So how long is it cooking before you turn it down to 350?
I don't know. Her method's a little more complicated.
Yeah, I think the last time I did one, I just put it at probably. I don't know. I don't remember what temperature I did. I probably looked up something and just did that, so it may have been like
hmm
350 or so. But like, I
hmm
didn't. I didn't have a time. That website probably gave a ballpark or something, but I was just checking
hmm
it every, like after the first hour, probably checking it every half hour or so.
Yeah, yeah, nice. Well, yeah, I'm curious to see what ends up happening for you with your roast.
Yeah.
I think you'll like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
hmm
I mean, even if it, as long as it doesn't end up overcooked, which is probably the best thing about Heather's method. That like
hmm
2 hours in the hot oven, um, it's probably really forgiving if you forget it for another half hour or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be a cold oven by by
Right.
2.5 hours. Yeah. Well,
So yeah, I can't imagine screwing that up.
I've definitely overcooked, but I don't know, but I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, as long as it doesn't come out like leather or anything, but
Hmm.
you know, just use a timer on your phone. Yeah,
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 and that's such a tender cut that yeah, even browner than you want is still going to be good.
yeah, yeah. So that sounds delicious and awesome. So that is Christmas Day. Now the question is, what is going to happen the next day? So those of you, and put it in the chat whether you are going to stay on plan on doing carnivore, or whether you are going to also, indulge in some of the traditional Christmas stuff. And if you are, how long are you going to give yourself before you get back on track? So, Arien, a Sunday morning, are you going to go back to your carnivore ways, or do you think you might still have some other stuff?
I think Sunday I'll probably be. I don't see myself taking sides, so the only thing that might be off track will be like a dessert. And if I take anything, I'm only taking like one extra serving. I don't want to have it for a bunch of time. I don't need all that stuff in my house tempting me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to be, at worst, mostly back on by Sunday
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
fully back on by Sunday night because I don't want to. I feel good. I want to keep this feeling. I do not need Christmas screwing this up.
Wait, so what did you do? I am now really curious about why you feel so good.
Oh, I
Is
don't
this the
know.
electrolytes? Is it more fat? What?
Uh, it's definitely not more fat. More fat is not me. Like as you were describing the pork belly, and you were saying like this one has like just about no meat on it. I'm just, you can have it. That is.
Well, I did pay for that. It actually it was too much fat from even me. So let me clarify. It was too much fat. And I think in the future I'm gonna have to have a much smaller portion as a side to my main thing.
Yeah, like I have found, and I think that might be, shoot, that might be why I feel better now. Um, all the bacon's gone, because I bought like 2 big packs of bacon, so like all that's gone. Um, I don't have any sausage, and like today I just ate meat, and it was just beef. I'm feeling like after, especially after this holiday season, I might go straight to, or really no, I might now be on a just beef or mostly beef kick, and maybe that's the difference: is less pork or less fat. But I'm feeling much better, and
Mm-hmm.
it seems it's probably one of those two things because I haven't needed to do the salt water, and but I am like drinking very little, and I am salting my food heavily,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't touched this water here. Is the first water that I've put any electrolytes in over a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a real small amount in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I see Ellie is staying on plan. Heather G plans to indulge a little bit, but then get back on plan no later than the 27th, which I assume is Monday. Let's see, Melanated Meat Fueled Mama had made keto cookies today, but is back to a more strict carnivore Sunday. And Delisa says staying on track. It's too hard to jump right back in after a day or two. So yeah. And Heather is thinking about doing a beef only January. Nice.
Yeah.
And then Detria says, I'm going to eat traditional Christmas Saturday and Sunday, then fast 3 days, then back on carnivore. Um, so that might be kind of hard, but let us know how that turns out. I find it hard. It's just hard to fast, I think, when you've knocked yourself out of ketosis. It's just harder, but it's a faster path back, but it's also harder.
For me, I find it a little. Those are the only times that I feel like fasting. Like if I
Hmm.
eat like enough of a jerk, that next day I'm gonna feel so bad that I don't really want to eat anything.
Hmm. For 3 days, though?
No, no, it'll be like a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what the difference is. So, but so Detria, just let us know how that comes out for you, and
Yeah.
we're rooting for you. Get back on track. And I am definitely on a beef kick myself. So aside from the pork belly, I have been. I don't think I've eaten another animal since like more than a week ago.
Hmm.
So yeah, uh, yeah. So I'm a big fan of the beef, and it was not a conscious decision. It just happened. But
Right. And that's how I'm feeling right now. Like I don't have any desire for anything else. I took out sausage yesterday and put it in the fridge, and I don't really want it. I'd rather just
hmm
have beef, and that means like no breakfast food. I also haven't had eggs in like a week or so. Feel
hmm
fine. I don't miss them. I think I'm
hmm
about to be back on a beef only kick.
yeah. Huh. Now, wouldn't that be interesting if that is why you feel you're feeling so much better?
It might be.
Are you still drinking coffee?
Yes, but the last time I had coffee, it's about 3 days ago now.
And when did you start feeling fantastic?
It might be around that time.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So there's too many variables,
Yes, a
but
lot of variables.
um, the one it might just be the simplifying, like less diuretics, um, less fat, and just one animal that I know my body does great with. But yeah, something's going on for sure, and it might be the coffee. And I thought it was weird. Like I woke up today and just didn't have a desire for coffee,
hmm
and maybe I'll
Yeah.
just wait until I actually want some again, as opposed to
hmm
just doing it out of habit.
hmm Well, Victoria Olson is here. I don't know. Well, she asked, I think we're frozen for her. I don't know if you can hear me, Victoria, but Victoria has a carnivore Facebook group. Carnivore, it's for carnivores. Well, I guess it used to be for carnivores over 50, but now it's over 40. And and it's a great group, and she has like tons of information in there. But she put a post up about her uh, um, coffee consumption and found that her cholesterol dropped like, I think it was like 100 points when she stopped drinking coffee. I mean, it was not a small difference. And there were
Wow.
significant changes in her blood markers over a period of time when she stopped drinking coffee. So, yeah, it was a pretty big deal. Maybe Victoria, if you can pop in the chat and put in and clarify, what the numbers were. So, and I think there was more weight loss, and there was other stuff that happened when she took out coffee. So I know a lot of us think that it's inert and it's not a big deal, and blah blah blah, and you'll have to pry it out of my cold dead hands. But the reality is it does have an impact on our bodies, and some of us it has a bigger impact. Like I said, for me, mood and anxiety came way down. I mean, and I can see it, when it just makes me more anxious, and my sleep changes too. So I don't know.
Yeah, and it would make sense. Like I know that part of the reason that I need so much salt is it's got to be coffee.
Mhm.
Like it feels like we talked about this last week. Like my body
Mhm.
seems to be more susceptible to diuretic effects than the average
Mhm.
person, or than I don't know who. it seems to hit me a little harder. So
Mhm.
it could be that, yeah, the coffee was pulling too much out of me, including electrolytes, and that was changing my mood and energy and just all the other aspects of my health.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I'm off coffee and I have been for a while now. So, so it's good. And I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, and I'm definitely feeling good. So, and I think, I've noticed too with the beef, like, everything seems to just operate a little better. So, yeah, so we'll
Yeah.
see. But I put lamb and goat and, bison and stuff all in the same category. So if you want to have other ruminant animals, like, I don't know, I would think that you're gonna see similar results. I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. I've
Hmm.
never noticed any difference on like a goat day versus a beef day,
Hmm.
um, or lamb either. Yeah, like they work for me the same. Like they fill me up the same. I feel just as fulfilled. I don't feel um, like I was at the grocery store yesterday and I couldn't find the steaks that were on sale at first. So I like looked and looked, and I hate being this person, but it's just who I am. It's just my life. I sit in front of the meat section and I look for the deal that I'm trying to find, or if I want some meat but I can't decide because none of these are prices that are really exciting to me, I might be there for 10 minutes just looking and trying to decide what I'm going to do. So I walked away from the beef, went over to the pork, and I see pork chops, assorted pork chops, $2.99 a pound, so much cheaper than beef.
Yeah.
And I really thought about buying them, and then I remembered that. But I would eat one of those, and they'd be big. They're like big pork
Hmm.
chops, fill up the pan, and I still don't feel great after. I don't feel like
Hmm.
I feel like I need to eat something else, but I don't want another pork chop.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I decided
Totally
not to
agree.
buy them. I'm glad I didn't.
Hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, I make the exception for pork belly because, the skin gets so crunchy and the fat is so delicious. But
Mhm.
um but yeah, it's not the same. Definitely not the
Yeah.
same.
And I
Yeah,
wonder if that's because I'm getting pork from a grocery store where
it's
it
not.
likely.
It's not. Well,
Oh,
I'm getting pork from, fancier places. But still I think, I mean, if you want to get meat from a pig that was raised in a natural pig environment where the pig is eating its natural diet, which I don't know what that is, but it's probably not grain. I think it's hard to find that. It's not impossible, but hard to find because everyone
mhm.
thinks vegetarian fed is like the good thing. And so most places, even like the fancy places, are like vegetarian fed. And it's like, oh, that's not the good thing. It's
Oh,
pastured, they say the pig is pastured, maybe it's outside, I don't know. But it's not necessarily eating its natural diet, whatever that means.
no, yeah, that's then what I'm saying is if I were to compare what I'm buying to the good
Hmm.
thing is the place that the co-op I used to go to, where their their cows were completely grass fed their entire lives, and their pigs, I forget, they said the pigs are allowed to root around in the dirt and they drink milk or something. So like, yeah, I didn't, but apparently that's a thing. So yeah, those pigs like are eating their natural diet or something very very close to it,
Hmm.
and they're like heirloom breeds too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
So
that's what, is hard to find. So when you have
yeah,
that, how do you feel when you eat those?
I it's been so long since I had any of their pork.
Hmm.
Um, I couldn't even say. And eventually I switched to beef only because when you can't choose what cuts you would get, and their pork would be sometimes like they would make sausages, but like the sausages weren't spiced, so it was just ground pork in a tube.
Wait, why? Why would you make that? I mean, sausage is
Or
traditionally spiced.
you know what? Maybe it was kind of spiced, but it wasn't spiced like
Mm,
I wanted. I wanted spiced like a
mm,
Jimmy Dean's or Bob Evans sausage at the grocery store. This was
right,
not that.
right, right. Yeah. Um, okay, so Victoria says she's been off coffee since September 2020, lost 20 pounds within 3 months of quitting. Her triglycerides and cholesterol went down over the last year. Cholesterol 356 to 246 as of November 2021. And I guess coffee can also have histamines.
Wow,
So, yeah,
wow, wow, wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, y'all think about that. There, if you are, struggling to achieve your final, health goals, coffee may be the secret thing. I don't know. Um,
I'm not surprised, but
mhm.
wow, 20
Yeah.
pounds and cholesterol went down. I assume that's total cholesterol. Um, but
Yeah, I would think
the
so. Yeah.
triglycerides went down too. That's awesome.
Mhm. Yeah. And I don't mean to tell on you, Victoria, but as for women, as we get past menopause, losing weight is not so easy. So dropping 20 pounds in 3 months is that is a significant achievement for a postmenopausal woman. So
Yeah.
yeah, think about that. Think about
Nice.
that. Yeah. Anyway,
They're
so
coming for my coffee once again.
yeah, yeah. So anyway, but that's what I'm doing for this holiday. And remember, so I was gonna kind of run through the recipes and the menu that Audra prepared for Thanksgiving. Um, excuse me. But I decided, well, I encourage you to go back to that episode and check it out. And if you want to download it, I think there's a link there where you can just download the paper version or version of it that you can print out. But there were a lot of good ideas for, sort of like finger foods as well as like the main menu and or the main course and then also desserts. So that's something to think about.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, there were a lot of
Victoria,
ideas in there.
uh yeah. Oh, Victoria went from 143 to 123. I think that must be your triglycerides, and she's 70. So yeah, you can imagine
Nice.
losing 20 pounds is that's an achievement.
Yeah,
Hmm.
good job. All from quitting coffee.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I encourage you to check for some recipes in, in that location, and and just try to be kind to yourself. It's a holiday. It's time to spend time with people, spend time with friends, and I think a lot of us like worry about be feeling alienated from friends and family because we're not eating the same as everyone else. But I feel like it has made me um, a better friend, a better guest, a better, family member, to stick to the way I'm eating because then I'm not feeling sick. I'm not, I mean, and once I start eating the sweet stuff, like that's where my focus is, So I'm no longer able to, function like a normal person and engage with everyone. So, like I am a better me when I am eating carnivore. So you might consider that for yourself. You might have a better time. Everyone else might have a better time if you stick to your program. And if you, stick out a little bit, like so what? Like
Yeah,
so what?
and that's what I think people need to get used to. Like even her weight was 143 and went down to 123.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, it's awesome. So yeah, I feel like people just accept that it's going to be different. And you may get looked at a little funny, you may get a look, you may get some questions, but I don't know, it's been my experience, and I feel like a lot of other people have said similar things that like it starts off weird or there's a weird moment and then it kind of dies.
Hmm.
It's not like your family's going to talk about you being carnivore for all of Christmas dinner. It's you're not that interesting probably. You're going to move on to something else. I know with my
Sure.
family, I there are times where I try to control the conversation and it does not work. It doesn't happen. They have a thousand other things they want to talk about, and my topic gets left in the dust very quickly.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, surely someone will announce an unplanned pregnancy, a new job,
Right?
job loss, a whole bunch of other things that are far more important than what you're eating. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, I know with my family, I just my mom will ask me sometimes, "You're not gonna have any whatever potato salad?" No.
Hmm.
Just oh okay.
Yeah.
Like what's there to argue about? I'm not going to have any. I don't want any.
Hmm. Oh, Victoria's triglycerides went from 99 to 61. Wow, that is
Nice.
spectacular.
Really good.
What the heck is in the coffee? Was that black coffee you were drinking? Or was there like,
Oh,
a whole bunch
that's
of
a good
creamer in
question.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because I'm already
yeah.
drinking black coffee, but even then, it still feels like there might be a difference.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, I know that, we got to get off this coffee topic, but I do remember reading about Dave Feldman, who does all of those experiments around the cholesterol, was saying that it's really important for you when you go to the doctor, and they're going to take your fasting blood vitals and everything.
Mm.
It's that you not have coffee that morning because that will drive your cholesterol up a lot.
Mm.
And so, if it matters, like what your cholesterol numbers are, like for your insurance or your job or something like that, like you really need to be careful about that. And I was like, oh, that kind of probably explains a lot. But I'm like, what do you do when your doctor's appointment is like at 1 in the afternoon? Like for some people, like that's a rough morning.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like that's your evidence that you need to cut back on coffee if you can't bear to like if you're having a really hard time because one morning you couldn't have coffee. I know I don't like that. Whenever I get like that, whenever I get dependent on anything to that extent, I'm not happy. And I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm then going to spend time extricating myself from that thing's grasp.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Well, I think that we are going to have a lovely holiday. I think I am looking forward to it. I've got some movies stacked up. I've got a puzzle, which I have started working on, and that's very fun. And yeah, a lot of games, hanging out, so it's good.
Good stuff. I've
Hmm.
got I've got some games, and I'll probably spend most of that day hanging at my parents even before dinner.
Hmm.
So that's always a good time. We'll watch a Christmas story and whatever else is on TV.
Yeah.
That's our tradition. Um,
Yeah.
ever since I was little, we would just I think like TBS plays it like on a
Hmm.
marathon for 36 hours or something, and we just leave it
Yes.
on all day.
Yeah. A Miracle on 34th Street was ours.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. So I think that sounds great. And for all of you, I see Katura is not traveling. Well, so of course that is the other, the wrench in things. It seems like a lot of people have had to change their travel plans because of Omicron. So I don't
Mm.
know. Are you guys changing what you're doing? Are you gonna continue on? Is anybody traveling or what?
No, we
Yeah.
had already planned a really simple Christmas.
Mhm.
because it was my grandmother's birthday in October.
Mhm.
Yeah, like late October. So, excuse me. So, because of that, like there was no other travel was happening this year. So,
Mhm.
it's just gonna be just the three of us, me and my parents, and then my brothers will be with their families in Ohio.
Mhm.
So we were already going to keep it really simple, which is convenient because this is the time of all times to keep it simple.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, nice. Um, so everyone, next week I am going to air a live, I mean, an interview, on Tuesday, a premiere. And, I've got quite a few stacked up, so I'm really excited to bring this one forward. And then, and I will do the following week as well. Um, we so I will do a live stream next Thursday. Um, when is New Year's Eve? Is that Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay. Yeah, so I'll do a live stream next week. But I know it's the holidays, so it'll be what it is. And I want to remind all of you who are watching, like, join the challenge. The My carnivore challenge, the 21-day challenge. I'm actually going to start at January 10th. So, to give people some time to get themselves together that first week of January. But I'm gonna, yeah, but I'm gonna open the Facebook group on January 3rd. So you'll get an extra week, but we will officially start January 10th. But some of you, if you're ambitious and ready to go, you can start on the 3rd and you will get an extra week, of, good solid support and everything like that. So I encourage you to join the challenge. It is a great experience. There's a lot of people who are in the challenge here, and really, who are having a lot of success. I've been really impressed with how well people have done, and yeah, I'm really excited about what I've seen, and just. And one of the people, let's see, Christian, who's in it, he did an unassisted full pull up, and that was his non-scale victory. And
Nice.
yeah, and I was like, I don't know that I've ever done that. So I think that is a massive non-scale victory. Yeah, yeah. And then the two other members, Delisa and Claudette, actually had a meetup in real life, a meetup, and and so they're making friends in real life. So there's a lot of good stuff coming out of it. So I encourage you to join the challenge, and if you are not going to do it, tell your friends, send them there this way, and yeah, it'll be a good time.
Spread the good word.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to be putting out some more videos, so look for that. And yeah, and I've had a great time. So thanks for hanging in there and watching. And Merry Christmas to all of you. I wish you the very best. Have a great one. And Arian, you have a great Christmas as well.
You too.
Enjoy your prime ribs and all the other stuff you have.
I will. I'm looking forward to that actually. I was thinking that prime rib was going to be Thanksgiving, and my mom said, no, 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 no. That's Christmas. We're doing that Christmas.
Yep. Yep. All right, guys. Have a great one, and I'll see y'all next week. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.